Maavybooks recording and managing expenses in Expensebook. Maavybooks simplifies the process of recording and managing the expenses paid by a business. Recording expenses is pretty easy in Maavybooks. In this video, we will learn how to record, edit, delete, and manage expenses in Maavybooks Expensebook. Click on Expenses button on the dashboard to reach Expensebook. You can also navigate to Expensebook using sidebar. On Expensebook, we can see a chart showing summary of all your expenses. To record your expense, visit Create Expense section in Expensebook. You just have to enter the few basic details to record your first expense in Expensebook. Transaction number is the unique number generated by Maavybooks for your every transaction. This makes it easy to record, view, edit, and delete transactions in Maavybooks. Start by entering the date of expense transaction, enter the voucher number of your expense, and then enter the GSTIN of the firm to which the expense is being paid, as it is always better to keep a track of your GST. Next, select the type of your expense transaction, that is whether the expense is paid from cash, bank, or has been due that is yet to be paid. Select the outstanding for due expense. If it is cash, select cash. For bank, select type as bank and also select the bank account in which the expense is said to be received. If bank is not displayed in your select box, you can simply add it by visiting to Add Bank section in bank. In case it is outstanding expense, select type as outstanding and give a title to your outstanding expense transaction. After selecting the type, enter the amount and also the GSTs that are applicable, that are SGST, CGST, and IGST. You just have to enter the GST percentages and it will automatically calculate the GST and total amount of expense. Finally, enter the particular including details about your expense transaction. Recheck all the details entered by you, although it can be edited afterwards, but checking it before submitting is a good practice. Now, click on Submit button. If all the details are filled correctly, you will be redirected to the expense note page. Here, you can either print your expense note or send it to others using Share ID. Share ID is a unique feature of Maavybooks that enables fast transferring and recording of expense transactions without much effort. It will be saved as incomes for other person's business account and will be shown under Income Book Received. You just need your share ID to share the expense notes instantly. Congrats, you have successfully recorded your first expense in Expensebook. You can now view your expenses under Report section of Expensebook and use View button to view complete expense note. You can also use multiple filters for easy tracking of data. You can view the history of your recorded expense transactions like date and time of transactions in History section of Expensebook. And you can view all the expense notes received using Share ID under the Receive section of Expensebook. They were initially recorded as incomes in others' books. You just have to click the button and the transaction will be automatically added to your expense reports without any requirement of re-entering the complete same data. All the sent expense notes being recorded and accepted by other parties as their income transactions will be seen here. This will make it easy to keep track of all your transactions with other individuals and firms. Editing expense transaction. Editing the expense transaction is also very simple in Maavybooks. Just go to Report section in Expensebook and click on Edit. You can see the pre-filled form with all your details. Change the details you want to edit and then click on Submit. You will be redirected to Expense Note page. You can again print this expense note or share it using Share ID. Deleting an expense transaction is a correct item. Deleting an expense transaction is again simple. Just go to Report section under the Expense. Click on Delete button beside the transaction you want to delete. A dialog box appears. Click Yes if you want to delete this expense transaction. The transaction will be deleted from your expense reports. You can check history of all your initial entries, updations and deletions under the history section of the expense. Hope this tutorial helped you record and manage expenses in Maavybooks Expensebook. Happy accounting journey ahead!